louder than I thought it would be. Yellow Jacket fans, it's time for Up with the White and Gold. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. He is GaTech John Watts. How are you, John?
Doing all right. It's almost Friday. Crazy. Been a busy week and it's gonna be even busier weekend. So, but you know how that goes. I don't know when you have downtime. Um, you're downtime when you're sleeping. But
Monday. But yeah, it's been a crazy, chaotic time. Tons of stuff coming up. Somebody who didn't have a ton of stuff up is Georgia Tech, and we will get into that shortly. First, I want to tell you all the ways you can be a part of this show, and I'm going to try to be quick because this is going to be an easy, fun show. You can email the show 3endzone@gmail.com. You can search for us on Facebook by searching Impact Media. You can search Up with the White and Gold. Those should all find us. You can find us on Twitter at Team Impact Media. Scroll down, find the show you want to listen to. Just click on it. If you want to follow me on all the social medias, at the Impact 99. And where can they find you on the social medias?
yeah, pretty much kind of the same places. At GaTechJon on Twitter. You know, pretty much you pick a social media and I'm on there.
And if not, let me know and I'll tell you what
Twitter,
it is.
Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
obviously, obviously the easiest place to find this show is on YouTube at, let's see, what are we? We have two channels. That's what throws me off. Uh oh, Impact underscore media underscore. Made it as complicated as we could. That's the way we do things. But
And
as I
I was gonna
said,
say, and hopefully they heard that what you said.
uh,
Yeah, you heard that.
yeah, exactly. We're having almost as many technical difficulties as we did with Hunker Down. I'm gonna just blame the Bulldogs for all of it.
That works for me.
I'm just gonna blame
That's what we
some
do.
Bulldogs. Pick your favorite or least favorite Bulldog. It's probably them. But like I said, somebody that did have some spare time or have some downtime this week was Georgia Tech. They were on a bye. I think it's safe to say that even though you can't win a bye week, you definitely could lose one. And I don't think they lost one. Didn't hear anything negative whatsoever. Seemed like everybody started getting healthy and seemed like this coaching staff has them ready for BC this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty quiet down. For once. And good, get some rest. You know, we got that nice miracle in Miami weeks ago. Got a good rest week, and then Boston College comes to town, and I think we'll be pretty ready for them.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Uh, yeah, like you said, I didn't even hear of any varsity specials this week, so it's been pretty quiet down there on the flats. Definitely a good thing. And as we said, we're gonna go on and just jump right into the yeah, we're just gonna jump right into the preview. They do play Boston College this weekend. I believe it is a noon kickoff on the ACC network. I think Tech is a 4.5 point favorite, which is a little weird to hear, but that's probably pretty accurate. This is a game they should win, and what are a couple things they need to do to make sure that they do actually win?
We're gonna look at defensive wise, the run, their quarterback who's somewhat mobile. I mean, he's got 500 yards rushing on the season. Um, he's throwing, he's a little over 1,000 yards. So I think definitely looking at that run, looking at those kind of plays, getting over the stupid mistakes. I've always harped on that this year, last year. You know, all starts, personal fouls, personal fouls. Yeah. Um, those little small things and just kind of keep going. Offensive wise, I mean, keep with the hands skating and the hands connection there. Keep that going. I think do pretty well on there. would be pretty good. 4.5 is a weird stat, like you said. I don't know how you do 4.5, but I mean, even 4 is kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, I think it could work. I mean, 4 maybe like a 31-27 kind of score. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty well.
Absolutely. I mean, I pretty much echo those things. I think you just play what has become the new norm of Georgia Tech football, and they should easily get this victory. It seems like Coach Key has got them in a good place. They're on pace for the 6 or 7 wins that we both had them at. And let's see, is this at Tech or is this in BC? Okay.
This is at I don't like saying this, but it is at the Hyundai Field at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Sorry,
Hey,
it's just weird. It'll forever be Grant Field for me.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like we said, that should be a fun one. ACC Network. Um, there's a small window where I may get to see this live. I'm not quite sure yet. There's a small window that if I'm awake at that time of day, should be that maybe I could see that one live. But either way, that it's a both these teams are at 3-3. I think they're actually in different places. Georgia Tech is on the upswing. I think Boston College is kind of riding itself on a downswing. So just hoping the boys can put this together and put win number 4 up there.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. Boston College, they've had 2 wins in a row. They played against Virginia, um, 30th against Army, 2 wins against Army. They also had a bye week, so we're both coming off bye weeks to kind of play each other down in Atlanta. Our season has been kind of here and there, get a win, get a loss, get a win, kind of thing. And I mean, you don't really know. I think what we talked about before is, we expected to beat Bowling Green and lose Miami, but did it the other way around. So
Yeah.
never really know. I mean, what happened? ACC, it's always been kind of weird one. So I mean, but yeah, hopefully, keep it strong on the field, and we'll come out with victory number 4.
Yep, we all definitely hope so. Like I said, we will all be watching this weekend as the world is kind of watching, because Georgia Tech has suddenly found itself on the radar of some people that had almost forgotten they were still playing. So it's good to have them on their way back to the top. They're not quite there yet, but I we agree that we both like where they are. They're just they're in a good spot. So like I said, noon kickoff. That one should be a fun matchup. You guys all know that whatever team you actually wanted to, if Georgia Tech is not your team, first off, we appreciate you listening and watching this show. But if you do want to catch the Tech game, it is going to be on probably 3 to 6 hours before whatever game you actually wanted to watch this Saturday. So tune in. It should be a really good game. Boston College is going to bring it. But the last time Boston College was really good, Matt Ryan was their quarterback. And that's how long ago that was.
Apologize there. I lost internet connection. All I heard was everything was quiet like normal.
Yeah, either way, we'll basically I was making fun of Boston College. It's a Boston College joke about Matt Ryan, and that's pretty much what that was. Last time they were relevant,
Okay.
but he was the quarterback. But
Can't say that for many teams.
yeah, that's very true. Real quickly before we get into who you got, our new segment where we're going to pick the ACC games this year. The thing I wanted to get into, and I'm hoping the internet cooperates long enough, is I am mostly a Tech fan because of being friends with you and other people. You are a Tech fan because you actually attended the place. So I didn't know if you had a some sort of Tech, either football or some sort of memory or some story you wanted to share. One, statute of limitations. Keep it, PG if we can. As wild as Tech can be, we know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's just maybe you had a big memory that stuck out, or just the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think of kind of the stories that we a little bit tell. I'm in there. I'm about a year older than a guy known as Megatron in the NFL. So my time there, I got to study. I'm in Calvin Johnson, and I think it kind of sticks out a little bit in my mind as being right there, maybe a couple of rows up from the sideline, and the game against Auburn, and they just lofted to him, and he gets this one stretched out one hand grab in the end zone right in front of you, and you're like, that was a great play, and I got to see that live, right there. I mean, I got to shout out to other people, guy, and maybe Jerry's other shows. Guy by the name of Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
He's or as we know him as uh, Joseph Leati Joseph Anawahi. That was a mouthful. And those times, you're spending on campus seeing these guys, develop into the great players that they were. Those two, and there was a year where Chris Fox on campus, and if you're watching the NBA and the Miami Heat championships,
Mm-hmm.
they was there too. So it's some great years, and definitely a fun time being there.
Yeah, and for one, Joe, as we can call him at the moment, was not quite the tribal chief for everybody. Who he was not anywhere close to that at that point. But yeah, Chris Bosh, just amazing player. Most people forget he went to Tech. He was a standout at Georgia Tech. That's pretty much what helped propel him into his NBA career. And as you said, Megatron he's just one of those guys where you watch him play and you really do think he's a robot. There's just no way you can make those plays as a human.
Yeah, I mean that's literally why they call him Megatron. He looks like a robot. I mean, his time there, his time in the NFL, they triplicated him, and the guy would still get it. I mean, we always around, just throw it somewhere in his general direction, and he's getting it.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, his NFL career, people took advantage of that and his injuries, and that kind of shortened his career there in the NFL. But I mean, what he was able to do, he's Hall of Famer there. So it was great to see before all that.
Yeah, it definitely was. And like I said, there'll be more opportunities this year. I know there's a bunch of stories you could actually tell. But time wise, we kept it pretty short. Real quickly, we're gonna do who you got. We're gonna go through the 5 ACC matchups. We're gonna leave the obvious one for the end. Let's start 3:30 on the ACC network. The home team is a 1.5-point favorite. That's almost disrespectful. The Pitt Panthers, I believe they're Panthers. Pitt is visiting Wake Forest. Who you got?
This one's gonna even kind of match up, and you got a 2-4 Pitt Panthers at a 3-3 Wake Forest Demon Deacons, and yes, they are still the Demon Deacons.
Good for them.
It's almost kind of I don't know. I'll take the guys at home, Wake Forest.
Yeah, even though Wake Forest has not been the same since Georgia Tech knocked them off and put that first loss on the board for them, it's been a completely downhill team since then. I don't know what happened, if their confidence went with that loss or not, but I think the Demon Deacons are still going to make this work. I definitely agree with you there. That 1.5, though, man, that's a kick.
Like, 50, and you've got it covered.
Yeah. 6:30 on the CW network. Once again, Vampire Diaries will probably precede or postseed that particular matchup. Virginia is taking their 1-5 record against the number 10 ranked North Carolina Tar Heels, who are one of the, I think they said 8 or 9 teams that are still unbeaten. Who you got? I'm not going to tell you the spread.
Yeah, we don't really need to worry about that. I mean, UNC's got this. I mean, pretty much wrapped up. I mean, they're one of, like you said, all the undefeated teams, and then they're one of two in the ACC. One we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, definitely UNC.
Yeah, it's even for the sake of the show, I'm not taking Virginia. That's and like I said, just know it's up there as far as the point spread, and there's a good chance they more than cover that. Number 16 Duke is taking their one loss to number 4 Florida State, who is still undefeated. 7:30 on ABC. Another disrespectful line. Florida State is a 14.5 point favorite. Who you got? That's a lot.
That's a lot for a 6-0 versus 5-1. I'm going to stay on the Florida State Seminole train. I've always been a fan, and if you look at it historically, FSU does not lose to Duke.
That's definitely understandable, but I'm gonna steal a line from a guy we knew in high school that should be watching this show. I'm not sure he does, but no, 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 no more of this. No, Duke's gonna knock them off. I think Florida State has been playing slightly above their talent level for the last couple of weeks. I think Duke is going to be the team to actually knock them down a peg. Florida State's probably still going to be in the Final Four, but you got to lose at some point. They're going to lose this week to Duke. I feel like it's a big primetime game. Not to mention the other primetime guy, but I feel like the Blue Devils are just going to be the team to knock them off. What else we got? Oh, this should be a better matchup than it is. They both have the same record. They're both pretty close to each other as far as this year, but neither one of them are ranked, which is, I'm not sure the last time these two faced off that they both weren't ranked. Clemson is going down to South Beach to take on the Miami Hurricanes, 8 p.m. on the ACC network. Clemson is a 3-point favorite, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty crazy. On this one, Miami started the season 4-0 until we came to town, and they've lost, our game and lost last week. So I think I'm going to go with Miami rebounding off these two losses, pick up win.
There we go. Okay. We're having the best technical difficulties. That it's both sides too. That's the best part of this. I know who you picked there. You did pick Miami. I did hear that. Not even for the sake of the show. Give me the team that I have seen play live twice. I've seen them at home, and I've seen them somewhere else. Can't remember where I saw them, but I have seen them at home. And if you guys have not been to Death Valley in Clemson, South Carolina, I encourage you to go. It is a fantastic place to see a game. No, I've seen them twice at home. That's where I've seen them. Give me the Clemson Tigers. I feel like Miami, it's the same thing with Wake Forest. Ever since Georgia Tech knocked them off, they haven't quite been the same team. And so I kind of feel like, maybe they do rebound, but I don't know if they're going to have the firepower to keep up with Clemson, who has suddenly found a way to score points. And then the last matchup.
Well, I have not had.
Go ahead.
I had a privilege of in Death Valley, but I was able to see them back in the day in Atlanta with someone that we know who was playing for them at the time.
Yep, you were talking about shoot, I forgot his first name. Butler was, I believe, the punter. Yep. No, wait. You're talking about Clemson. So that would have been Clipboard Charlie would probably have been there.
Oh, okay, sure.
Charlie Whitehurst?
Not who.
Oh no. Okay.
Not who I was talking about.
Shout out Nathan Bennett, who is not watching the show either.
There we go.
He's out there selling cars, and if they sponsored the show, I would tell you where he sells cars. We need to talk to them. They should sponsor this show. Lastly, we talked about it. This should be an easy breakdown. Boston College is going to be on the flats. They're going to be at I'll say it because you want Hyundai Field. So 12 p.m. kickoff, ACC Network. Georgia Tech the 4.5. That's I know how that you can get to that score, but it's going to take it almost a rocket scientist to explain it. Who you got?
I mean, I got to go with my boys, my alma mater. I'll take Georgia Tech. I mean, both scores, I think it'll be kind of middings. I mean, it won't be wide open, but it won't be like low scoring. So, like I said earlier, I'll take something like a 31-27 Tech.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to agree on this. I don't think they cover that spread. I think they win by a field goal. I want them to win by a lot more than that, but I'm taking Georgia Tech as well. What you said 31-27, 27-24. And it may not be a late kick either. They may have a 3-point lead for the entire fourth quarter. It could literally be something like that. I don't think it's going to come down to the end. I think they're going to have that 3-point lead and make everybody sweat it out. But Georgia Tech's getting win number 4 this weekend. I tried, yeah. But yeah, for everybody out there, yeah, go ahead. Oh, yeah, well, it's yeah, you can see it. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and I know you watched last week's. I know you watched last week's, but I'll reiterate it again. The shirt that I wore last week was the same shirt that I wore Monday morning in front of a lot of Miami fans that were real loud the Friday before, but they weren't quite as loud that Monday when I proudly had that GT on. In fact, most of them didn't speak in my direction. It was pretty nice.
Like, quiet day.
Because they were loud on Friday, and I said, I don't know, man. I outlined it because I knew they weren't gonna tune into my show, even though I gave them the link. And I said, I spelled out a way that Tech can win this game. You guys have, I'm just saying, it's just a little out there. Some weird things have got to happen, and then weird things happen. Georgia Tech won that game.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, it's not the first time we've been in a American game, so you know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. But folks, we're going to call that a show. We hopefully gave you a pretty good preview. We gave you some reasons why Boston College is not going to win this game, and we even told you how close it is. So for all you betting people out there, take the under. Still take Tech, but take the under. And should be a fun day of ACC action. There's some really good, juicy matchups in there. Even Pitt Wake Forest could be really good. But for GaTechJon Watts, I am Jeremy the Impact York. This has been Up with the White and Gold. We will see you guys next week. Let's get a Go Tech on the way out.
Go Jackets.